This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
This is Joe Rabil, and what I want to do today is follow up on last week's video. I would suggest if you haven't seen last Tuesday's video, go ahead and watch that. It's not very long. Give you a real good idea of how we look for trend reversals. And I use a zigzag indicator overlaid on the price chart. Now, I want to follow up on that and go in a little bit more in depth and talk about how I can use this in multiple time frames, and also how we can start to use or implement the momentum indicators to help us with our decisions. All right, let's go ahead and get going with this. Now, if you do want to learn more about some of these techniques, I would suggest starting with the book. It's at rabilstockresearch.com/book. And also, if you do enjoy this content, please hit the like button and also subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you. All right, so I have the chart of IWM up in multiple time frames. Again, monthly, bottom left, weekly, bottom right, daily in the upper right, and then an hourly in the upper left. All right, now I want to show how we have the reversal patterns that can develop, right? Where if let me just show you this very, very briefly as a follow-up. So if a stock's making lower highs and lower lows, it comes back up and makes a higher high finally, right? And then makes a higher low and turns up and takes this out. Then we have a reversal of trend. That's without the use of trend lines, okay? We're not using trend lines there. And then there's another way it could play out where if you're making lower highs and lower lows, you make a higher low and then a higher high and then another higher low and another higher high here. So that's another way that we can confirm a change in trend to the upside. But what I will say is if we get an alert, so we get a move, we've made a higher high, this is a bull alert. This is a sign that something good is taking place or a potential reversal is taking place. What I like to do is watch this pullback right here. When we get a full-fledged swing to the downside on a pullback, I now want to go down to the lower time frame and look for a signal. All right, now let's just use this IWM as an example. I'm going to start with the daily chart in this instance. We will look at the weekly briefly, but let's just show you what took place. So we had this move and we went to a lower low here and then rallied up and made a lower high, right? And then we made a lower low. So we kind of confirmed the trend to the downside. But then look at what happened here. We made this move up, rallied back, and then made another higher high, a marginal higher high. So in theory, looking at this, we could say that the trend tried to reverse back to the upside. Now, it didn't last very long. I don't think very many people would have been fooled by this, but it does constitute a potential switch in trend. If you notice what happened right away, though, we made another lower low here. All right, now when we make this lower low, look at the momentum condition in place. Look at the strength of this move to the downside. All right, and then we get the rally back up. Now, during this rally back to the upside, we've got moving averages declining. All right, now there is a little bit of separation between these two, but the momentum is very, very strong in this situation. We do have a little bit of, we have some serious overrun, in fact. All right, so it's not an ideal situation, but when you're looking at the indices, sometimes you got to sort of look at where price resistance fails, how much momentum there is, and a lot of times you're going to see some continuation in these type of plays. All right, now what I wanted to point out though is that once you have this move to the downside and a rally back up, and we have constituted a pivot low zigzag from down to up, right? And we're moving up here, we can then go down to the lower time frame. So we can look at that, and that rally up is happening on this time frame. All right, and we've moved our way back up all the way up in here. And if you notice what happened, and in this situation, if you wanted, you could actually draw your trend line and you could see that we broke the trend but that had been in place to the upside, and then formed this lower high and then came back down and confirmed with a reversal. All right. Now, this is different. If you look at the way this played out, this is not the classic reversal pattern to the downside. So in other words, if we're making higher highs and higher lows, where classic reversal is this. But in this case, what we've done is we have a failed bull. So we had a lower low here, we made a lower low, and then we made a higher high. All right, so we're showing signs that, hey, maybe this is a reversal back to the upside, okay? And then it comes back down and it turns up. Now, instead of coming up here and taking out this high, it actually fails and coming back down through this low. So we have that, and we also have no strength in the buyer. So if you notice this big move to the upside, you see how green DI was not able to get the ADX above 25 on this hourly chart? And then if you notice, as we drop down here and we made this lower high right at the 18, we also had a pinch play developing, essentially essentially we had a zero line cross to the downside. All right, the pinch actually happened a little bit after the peak of the move, and then we made a few higher lows and then got going to the downside. But you know, the whole idea behind this, all right, is to be on the lookout for when we have a higher high to a higher low. So this is the bear version of what I was showing last week, right? So we go from a new high to a new low and then make a lower high or rally up. We haven't made the lower high yet, but what we're going to do as we rally up here is go to the smaller time frame and time our entry off of this. Now we can use the exact same approach. You just have to understand, I mean, this is something I go over with my subscribers on a weekly basis where we're looking at these swings and making sure you understand this failure pattern that develops periodically in relation to you know, when we have a true reversal to the upside. Well, sometimes it doesn't play out that way. And we know that we're looking on the lookout for failure. All right. Now, it obviously helps when you can draw your trend line in and you know that you have a 1, 2, 3 potentially developing. It also helps when you know you don't have a lot of strength in the move to the upside here. See how ADX could not get above 25 throughout this whole rally to the upside. And then the other part is that we've got a lot of strength to the downside. All right. So we want to make sure if we have overrun like this and we don't get a test of the high, we do want to make sure on the smaller time frame that we do have red DI sort of helping the situation here. So red DI came up and it held on the pullback. All right. So we had this rally up and we know that green just wasn't, well, red was starting to take over again. You see what I mean? So green wasn't strong enough to get the ADX going. So we know we still have a downward bias. And then once red takes over and doesn't crisscross again, if red would have crisscrossed here, then I would say this is a lot more questionable situation. But with the trend line break and the pinch play develop and the red holding above the green here, I think we have a pretty quality setup when we look at the overall trend structure, especially on the daily chart. Now, if we look up, we want to look up to look at our potential downside, right? So how much downside do we have? I would go and look at these 3 peaks here as being a pretty critical area. It's right around 192, 193. I think that's probably the target area for this move now, looking on the way this is played out. You know, if we get a move coming down here and looks like, you know, I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to come down into this area. So you can see we made a few bottoms here in this zone, and we also made a few tops here in this zone. So we want to kind of look at that and say, all right, we're looking at sort of where these lines overlap. And it gives us an area. It's not an exact level. It's an area. And you want to be on the lookout for what those levels are. Like I say, it's low to mid 190s, something like that, I think is the target area for this. I do recognize that we have strength on this time frame, again, based on the momentum condition, that is confirming. We don't typically like to short or play a move in the direction of the trend when we're this far away from the 18. But the only time you can do that is when we have a rising ADX. Okay, so all these little pieces are part of a puzzle that you're putting together, and you're saying, okay, we have enough room to the downside to play this if we do it off the hourly chart, using the daily as kind of our main time frame in this situation, and we have really good momentum characteristics suggesting there's a lot of weakness here. All right. Now, I do know that this is going to be down. It's not like there's a play here. I'm using this as an example of how we can use multiple time frames to identify when a trend is potentially reversing. So it's almost like when we have a trend line break, right? So we have a trend line break and we rally up and make the 2. All right. When we make that 2, we want to go down to the smaller time frame and be on the lookout for a reversal. Well, this is the same concept without using the trend line. So if we get a bear alert and then we rally up off of that, we know that if we make a lower low, we're in a bear trend, a confirmed trend to the downside. So be on the lookout for setups right in this location. All right. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.